we built this space.
What is your responsibilities?
I'm Spanish originally, my father's Spanish, and my mother's from Zimbabwe. It's a good business. There's a lot of culture here, but you have to look for it.
I very like your place.
Make culture. Electric Pawn Shop, which we're in now, is on kind of the corner, warming up for Snoop Dogg. That's a very good question. It took a big shift in my mentality.
First of all, it's a bar.
Felt like a failure. I felt like I'd failed in life.
How you understand what people need?
My goal of putting the DJ booth more in the corner, I'm not an ego DJ. I would never say like, yeah, the one where I played was the best. I'm not that guy.
So Lobito, welcome to my channel Flanger.
Thank you, man. Thank you, bro. It's a pleasure to be on the channel.
Yeah. Very nice to meet you here. First of all, tell me about your perfect location. What is it? Where we are?
Okay, right now we're in Electric Pawn Shop, which is a concept that myself and my business partner Lynn created after COVID, because COVID changed everything for us. So she got blown up in Beirut in the explosion. I had my company, I had to close my company. I lost a lot of staff because I was running events. All of my shows were canceled. So a friend in New York introduced us, and we decided now's the time to collaborate, and we built this space, which is a way for me to be able to DJ and also support DJs and push music culture.
How many years here for free?
Now it's almost 3. It's two and a half years now. Yeah, since May 2022.
Are you here every day?
Yeah, I'm here every day. It's my baby. It's my business. So I'm here almost every day. You know, I have to. It has to be taken care of.
What is your job title?
Co-owner or owner.
Okay,
yeah.
I got it.
Yeah.
What is your responsibilities? I think everything.
Yeah, I mean, like we split between Lynn and myself a lot of responsibilities, but we have a good team. So there's also a bar manager, which is Omar, who's handling a lot of the things in the bar. We have a chef who's handling everything in the kitchen, but we oversee and manage everything else that's going on, and all the events, all the activations, all the day-to-day business management of running a company.
Is it your first place where you owner?
Yeah, it's my first bar slash cultural space club music venue, and it's my 5th company in Dubai.
Can you tell us about your previous 4th companies?
Yeah, so basically everything I've done has been an excuse to get closer to music. So finding ways to build a sustainable business around it. So I've done the DJ lifestyle and toured around and played festivals. I've worked in many different capacities as a DJ, even as a backing DJ for bands, for bigger acts. I've DJed in small venues. I've been a promoter for clubs, spaces, venues. But for me, I always wanted to build something that was financially more sustainable. So then on the music side, there was less pressure on me to constantly trying to chase money. So doing events was a good one, because then you can create events and platforms that you can be a part of that maybe you wouldn't normally see, that wouldn't exist. And then the culmination is, a problem with a lot of those businesses is you wait 30 days, 60 days to get paid. But when you have a bar, somebody comes, they buy a drink, and they pay you right away. So it's a good business.
Okay, we'll be back to Electric Pounds later.
Yeah.
But now let's dive into your story.
Yeah.
Tell us where you're from.
Okay, so I'm a mix. I'm Spanish originally. My father's Spanish, and my mother's from Zimbabwe, but via Ireland, UK, Scotland. So I'm mixed between, sort of Spanish and I would say generally European. But I was born and raised in Spain, grew up in Spain. Started listening to music at a young age. From my father was like collecting jazz. My mother and father met in Lagos in Nigeria, So I used to listen to Fela Kuti tapes and Malinga 5 and lots of like original Afrobeat music, as well as getting into jazz, some soul, classical music, obviously from my mother's side. So yeah, started collecting music when I was in my early teens, getting into early like 90s dance culture, like listening to Prodigy, Chemical Brothers, and then finding out that there were a lot of samples and music behind those things that started to expand my mind into listening to other music.
How long have you been in Dubai living?
Now based in Dubai, like
Based, yeah.
18 years,
18?
and but also like doing work in other places, but based in Dubai 18 years now.
Why you choose Dubai?
So I studied Arabic. So I because I'm Spanish originally. Spanish has 4,000 words that come from Arabic. So the kind of the history of Spain is really an Arab history, and I have Arab blood through my father's side and his ancestors. So it made sense to study Arabic, learn a bit about the culture, learn a new language, and you know, my parents traveled a lot. They were in Abu Dhabi in the 70s before I was born. So yeah, so I wanted to do something that connected my family history, my heritage. So studying Arabic made sense. Yeah.
But why actually Dubai? Because there are so much countries where you can learn Arabic.
And
Why?
I did. I lived in those countries. I lived in Syria before. I was in Lebanon. I've traveled around different countries in the Middle East. And then Dubai around 2007 seemed to be a place where there was a lot of business opportunity. The city was like growing like crazy. So it seemed like a place where I could at least use my Arabic and maybe build something, build a new life for myself.
If you need to choose only one city at your next all years, it will be Dubai or what?
No, I mean I may stay a lot longer because it makes a lot of sense for me. But I think I could live anywhere. I think I could probably be very happy in Japan. I could be very happy in Barcelona, which is where my family is living. Yeah, I think a lot of countries I could stay. But I need maybe not cold countries.
So much people who live here in Dubai for long periods, 10 years, 20 years, they're a little bit tired of Dubai.
Yeah.
Because we want some museums, we want more another weather, we rain,
Yeah.
different jackets.
Yeah.
It's very hot. You don't tired of Dubai?
I think I'm becoming a living museum. So like the longer I stay here, the more of a museum I'm becoming. So I think I always felt the same. Even from 2007, people would always say, "Oh, Dubai has no culture," blah 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 blah. And honestly, if you know, most of the people who come to Dubai, they don't have culture. They're chasing money. Most of the people who come here, they don't, and the people even sometimes who grow up here, they don't study Arabic. They're not interested in Bedouin culture. They're not interested in the desert. They're not interested in all of the things that are the heritage of this place. So I think there's a lot of culture here, but you have to look for it. It's not like the European model of culture.
Yeah.
And also, you know, from the economy side, Dubai is trying to attract a lot of people. So they're going to focus on what's going to boost the economy. And you know, they make some, I think now they're starting to make culture more of a priority, but there's a lot of work to be done. And I think anybody who's interested in culture needs to contribute. So if you're here, it's a young city, so make culture, like create culture. If you're not creating culture, then you have no right to complain.
What's your favorite places in Dubai? Maybe 2, 3, 5, your lovely places in Dubai.
I love little spaces. You know, I love going to the creek. I love the old side of Dubai because you can still feel the origin of where Dubai came, and you can also feel that it's really a mix of cultures. You can feel the Indian influence, you can feel the influence of different places, and then as you move further and further towards the marina, it gets whiter and whiter. So it's like I'm interested in like kind of the roots of the place. I think it's more interesting. And Electric Pawn Shop, which we're in now, is on kind of the corner of old Dubai and new Dubai, which I think is interesting as well. But so I like the creek, I like that side of town. I love little spaces like one of my favorite coffee shops is Mocha 1450 on Al Wasl Road.
Okay.
And there are places on Al Wasl, and I love Jumeirah and the beach by Jumeirah, where you can stand on the beach and you can see Burj Khalifa, you can see Burj Al Arab, you can, you know, be on by the sea. It's nice.
Tell me about your maybe 2, 3, 5 events, parties, or festivals where you played for all your life, for all your DJ life. Your most favorite, most important for you?
That's a very good question. So my career now is 20 years plus. So I DJ'd, I think my first big international booking was in Catalonia, and it was like, there was Sonar Festival and some other festivals around it. So one of the ones that sticks out, they asked me to DJ like a 2-hour main set. And at the time I was studying, I was living in London. So they asked me for a 2-hour set, and then in the same week there was going to be a 4-hour set, and then there was going to be like an 8-hour set. Now in modern time, right now, that would be kind of easy. You just whatever, take a controller, take your hard drive. But back then it was, I think Serato had just been released, the first Serato box, and all of my music was on vinyl. So I started to record all of this music, and I was like, yeah, it's impossible for me to take this much vinyl. So I just digitized as much music as I could. I digitized like more than 50 hours of music, and then that was my first kind of international show where I played so many different venues in another city, and I had to prepare and use new technology. So that was interesting for me. I was a very early adopter of digital technology as well as vinyl. Yeah.
So in maybe one festival or one club,
I played at Plastic People in London, which is a legendary venue, which I really enjoyed. I used to have a residency in Brixton in London. My professional, even though I'm from Spain, my professional career started in London in the very early 2000s, like 2001, 2002. So those places, because at the time they were pretty ghetto, they were not gentrified, like London's changed a lot. It's like DJs would get their records stolen, there was like a lot of vibe, a lot of like real life going on around those spaces, and people reacted to the music like in a really kind of hyper way. So those small spaces. But then I've played big festivals with warming up for Snoop Dogg, warming up for Sean Paul, a lot of Fatboy Slim.
It was in Europe or here?
I did it here in Abu Dhabi. So I think my biggest show ever was Abu Dhabi for warming up for Sean Paul, and it was 37,000 people. So, and I didn't know, like they just told me you're going to play here. I was like, okay. And I came with my turntables because they didn't have turntables, so I was carrying the turntables. Backstage, all you can hear is like, and I walked on stage, and there's just a light on me, and then you can't see the end of people. So that for me, that was, I'd never played a crowd that big. Even in London, I played 4,000 people, 5,000 people for like Forum in Kentish Town. I was part of a group with Eric Bobo from Cypress Hill called Cultura Londres, which was, we played Shepherd's Bush Empire for like several thousand people, but 37,000 people was insane. So yeah, different feeling.
So at nowadays, DJing is not your main job, yeah? Like
I would say it is. I've just created a business around it. Okay. So I think my career in Dubai has been building a business around my DJing. So I don't think I've stopped DJing for the last 20 years. There hasn't been a week where I didn't have a show. Yeah.
In Dubai now you play only in Electric Pounds, so you have another gigs to in other
So I do, because I have to really manage my time, and also the identity of Electric Pawn Shop is based on me, based on Lynn. So if I'm not here, part of Electric Pawn Shop would be lost, and we've kind of the space is built around a lot of my music curation. So I do some shows, like usually award shows or some event where, you know, I feel it's good either for us as a business or for me personally. I've been asked to do some tours even internationally, so I have to manage my time. I've been asked to play in Japan very soon, to do a tour of some different cities in Japan. So hopefully that will happen next year. I need to make time.
But now, do you have some invitations from different promo groups or restaurants or clubs to you?
I get.
Hi Lobito, what about this Friday, Saturday?
Yeah. I get approached a lot for, you know, usually they want consultancy or they want me to bring a different sound to a venue. Sometimes a new venue in DIFC. Sometimes it's like how they're asking me, like, how do we make this work? Because they remember some of the promoter things I did. Like I started the DJ nights in Casa Latina in 2010, and so I had a meeting just last week with a guy who used to work there. So he was like, I'm working now in a venue in JLT, how can we recreate this, you know, like, because he saw me build the venue from not having DJ events to, from like 2010 till now, there are still DJ events happening in the space. It became like a desirable place. So
during all these years in Dubai, for 20 years or 18 years in Dubai, what jobs have you worked, like as a DJ, as a manager maybe?
Yeah. Mostly as a DJ. I would say, you know, because we'll keep your music focused. I mean, in life, you do a lot of different stuff, but as a DJ, I kind of tried to find different ways to use DJing to generate business. So whether it's like consultancy on playlists, whether it's curating events, festivals, curating like a space, so seeing what a space feels like, and then if you have a deep knowledge of music, you kind of know this music's going to work well here, etc. Because a lot of places in Dubai don't have a lot of vision when it comes to music, and they just go with what they think is popular, which is why you hear right now, there are different trends. Like right now, it's all Afro house and Amapiano kind of styles, but there's so much music in the world, and there's new music coming out, that there's kind of cool sounds that you could pick for so many spaces and make it much more interesting.
Did you ever worked in Dubai with a contract, like 5 days a week in one place?
I did that, and for me it took a big shift in my mentality. So there was a moment in the kind of early to mid 2010s where like I was still transitioning into figuring out how to build my company properly. So I needed some money quickly, so I did the residency. But in the beginning, it would nearly crushed my soul because I was just contracted. So I remember clearly I was at Ritz-Carlton in DIFC, and they asked me to take the contract for the space, and I expanded that to consultancy for the hotel. But in the beginning, it was just me DJing on this terrace. So I was there on a Sunday, there's no one around, it's totally dead. And I was like, I felt like a failure. I felt like I'd failed in life. Like, this is a big step down. I've played big festivals and now I'm here playing for nobody, you know, what's happened to me? But as soon as I shifted my mentality and realized that my value hasn't changed, I'm getting paid well. Number one, I'm getting paid well to do this. Number two, my value hasn't changed. All of my experience is still relevant. This is just a stepping stone. And ultimately, if there's no one around, I'm getting paid to practice. I'm going to do this at home. So why would I kill myself mentally that I'm playing to an empty space when actually I'm getting paid to do it? It's a blessing.
So when I came to Dubai 2 years ago, a big surprise for me was that so much places in Dubai, so much restaurants, beach places, beach clubs, they working with DJs only with contract. They have 2-3 DJs, and usually they work every day or 6 days a week. Like, for example, from 3 to 7,
Yeah.
and another DJ from 8 to 11,
Yeah.
or one DJ, and it was very big surprise for me because I never heard about this,
Yeah.
about contract, like 6 days a week. Really? Oh my gosh, it's very difficult.
Yeah.
What do you think about it?
I mean, I can now, because I have more experience, I can speak on it from the business perspective and from the artist perspective. From the business perspective, it makes sense because in Dubai you need a permit for any DJ. So if you, as a business, let's say you're just starting out, you need to save money, you will do one permit for say 3 months for a DJ, and it's going to be much cheaper than having 5, 6, 7 DJs per week, and every DJ needs a permit. And you know, if you don't do the permit, they can come and you can get a big fine, which is bad for your business and also bad for the reputation of your venue. And then I would say in some places as well, if as a business you pick the right person, then the curation of the music is consistent. So let's say you have a space and then people start to come and they like the vibe of your place, but every night they come, it's different music and maybe they don't know what to expect, and then they can't become attached to the place. So I personally think it's good to have a variety of styles, but it's how you communicate that. From an artist perspective, having a residency, if you can get a residency, it gives you stability. It's like having a job, and then if you're producing music, it means you know, okay, I have to go this time to this time and DJ. At the end of the month, I'm getting my salary, and then during the day, I have time to produce music, build my business. So that was my mentality when I took these contracts, was I have the entire day to work on my other business. So build my event company, plan building a bar, plan whatever project I have in mind, or building a turntable orchestra, which I did in 2018. Create, you know, it gives you space to create.
Yeah, it's good if your contract is good. Because, for example, I have some experiences, and my friends had experience with very crazy contracts with so much time a day, and they haven't free time for their creativity. They just sleep in, wake up, eat in, go to work, sleep in, work.
I think I had better contracts, because you know, a good contract would mean you would play 4, 5, maybe maximum 6 hours a night, but then during the day you're free. That would be a good contract.
Do you have your ideal timing set, like 2 hours or 3 hours or 6 hours? Because I know that some DJs like to play like 5, 6 hours.
Yeah, I think for me, I'm gonna say I'm a bit more of an old school DJ. I think the longer the set, the better, because if you have the right audience and they're ready to go on a journey with you, you can really take them on a musical journey and show all of your knowledge and connections between music. Because a great DJ is not just someone who plays music. A great DJ is someone who studies music, knows the history of different styles of music, knows all the different genres, knows that every genre of music has a different style of mixing. You know, it's like if you mix reggae or dub in the same way that you mix house music, it's a disaster. You know, there's a history to how different DJs in different countries would mix different styles of music. So if you study that and you have a long set, you can really show a lot of knowledge, and you can show the connections, you know, where a song was sampled, where it leads to, how say hip hop has influenced house, how disco influenced hip hop, how jazz influenced like everything else. You can find all these connections in music.
So what you're thinking about your place, Electric Bounce Shop, and about audience in Electric Bounce Shop? I very like your place, but in my opinion, the main place in this restaurant, it's a bar, because it's like a very, very beautiful bar around this place, and DJ booth like not in the center, and in my vision, in my opinion, the bar is the main center of this Electric Bounce. All that atmosphere here, someone talking, someone kissing, Very nice.
Yeah.
And but I'm thinking that first of all it's a bar, and
Yeah.
music is like second part.
So yeah, I will explain a little bit. So I would say that I had the option, and you know, as the owner of the place, I had the option to make the DJ the center, the focus, make it more of a club, have like a big dance floor, and then maybe put the bar somewhere at the back and put that down. But honestly, that would, I think, be a really bad decision. Number one, it's not my personality, because I think every venue has a personality of the people who made it. So the bar is in the center, but the music, the drinks, and the food are all equally balanced in the space. My goal of putting the DJ booth more in the corner was because then people can focus on actually being around each other, and the sound system is balanced in the entire space.
Yeah.
Like I come from a generation where the DJ doesn't have to be under the spotlight, dancing all the time, to in front of people holding mobile phones.
Yeah.
Like from my generation when I started, the DJ, sometimes you couldn't even see the DJ, and people are enjoying themselves and having a good time.
100%.
So really the space has, for me, the spirit, what I consider like DJ culture, where you can go up to the DJ is right there. You can have an intimate, and I think intimate is the key word for our space, an intimate set with, say, a legend like Danny Krivit, and he's like less than 1 meter in front of you, and you can see exactly what he's doing and how he's doing it. But at the same time, you can be in the other corner of the space and partying with your friends and not pay attention to the DJ. So I think DJ is the sole focus. We've seen that in popular culture for a long time now, where even the idea people have of a DJ is a guy on a big stage throwing hearts at the crowd, maybe throwing a cake, and playing some hardcore clown EDM to people. Whereas, like, I think there are many different kinds of DJs. There are festival DJs, and that's cool. There are like bar DJs, there are wedding DJs, there are like creative, artistic DJs that are using samples to make whatever they want. And so for here, it's really a DJ culture first space, but where like the drinks and the food are not pushed to the back. Because if you go to a lot of clubs, the drinks are bad. You know what I mean? The music's good, the drinks are bad. You go to a high-end cocktail bar, usually the speakers are bad, or there's no music, but the drinks are amazing. So with us, we try to balance all of these things equally.
Yeah, and in my opinion, it's the brilliantly idea, because people has a choice. They can sit in here, they can play in video games, sit in as a restaurant, dance in like in a club. Amazing. I very like it.
Yeah.
I'm asked about what you think about your audience. Did they understand your music way from like from 9 to 3? Did they hear it? Did they understand it? What do you think?
To be honest, I think sometimes as a DJ, it's important to be humble and take a step back. That I think some DJs are determined to get everyone's attention, and that's okay. But also, if you ask any really like veteran DJs, what's the real art of a DJ? It's the warm up. It's like taking an empty room and building it to a place with volume and with style of music where people are ready to move and ready to dance. So whether people pay attention or not is irrelevant. It's mainly how the DJ is presenting the music. And so long as people have a good time overall, that's what matters. But also, if you're only playing commercial top 40 music, then you're denying people the experience of discovering music. And if you're playing too much only underground music, you're denying something that they can access and they can understand. And this has always been the balance with being a DJ is, do you like 100% just play whatever you want and act selfish, like egotistical? Or do you only play what people want to hear and you lose yourself, and you don't have your identity, you don't have your taste? So the truth is always somewhere in between.
How do you define the music genre of electric bounce shop?
I think for me, the concept is New York, Chinatown, underground, and I had a lot of experience with New York DJs and the sound of US music, from the origins of hip hop to, you know, disco, to obviously Chicago house, Detroit techno, all of the kind of predominant like electronic music that has its origins in the US. But I also, you know, I was mostly influenced by UK bass culture as well. So I think it's a combination of music as we know it in the world right now. Like, I make sure I play a lot of Arabic music, usually blended or remixed as a tribute to the space, and also I like it. But you know, there's music from all over the world that you'll hear here, but there's a heavy focus on presenting authentically a lot of soul, funk, Brazilian, hip hop, eclectic DJ cultural music, with like married with deeper electronic music, bass culture, some house, some deep house, and other styles. So just tracing little connections between all these different places that I've been, my history in music, the history of even Lynn's music is incorporated. She used to play a lot of like funk and soul in Beirut, so that's also integrated into the music policy.
What about name? Why is such a name, Electric Pawn Shop? What is it like?
So the electric part was for my business partner, because she lost everything in Beirut, and the bar that she built, which actually was named the best bar in Middle Eastern Africa, was called Electric Bing Sut. So because it was destroyed and it was blown up, it's a way to keep the legacy after it was destroyed. So that's why we chose the electric, was for her. And then the pawn shop, for me, every city has an underground, and the underground, you always find the pawn shop is the dodgy place where you can sell your watch to get money. So we felt like an electric pawn shop would be something cool, something different for the city, and you know, playing with the name basically.
I'm here, I think, 1 week earlier in YouTube. I'm here at one DJ from Russia, and he said that in his opinion, Europeans festivals culture killing the club culture, because if you're a DJ and if you're playing a big festival, you can play everything, like ambient, people screaming, drum and bass screaming. You can only like up your finger, oh my gosh. And if you play in the club, it's difficult to understand the dance floor people, and you need to make some balance. And in his opinion, these European festivals like Tomorrowland, etc., they killed the club culture. DJs now don't understand what they need to play. What are you thinking about it?
I think club culture has had problems for a while now. That's why you saw the death of like the big clubs like Gatecrasher. I think the way that people experience music has changed completely, and there's a much bigger change happening. So festivals are not going anywhere. People still want the experience of going to a festival, experiencing live music with a bunch of other people who are there for the same reason. I think the kind of spaces, that's why there's a rise now in bars like us, in listening bars, because people want more intimate experiences. For a while, there was this lounge culture with lounges trying to be clubs, but really focusing on popping bottles and the VIP service and sparklers. But I think even this, you know, was getting tired very quickly. So I think it's all about what experiences people are looking for. For DJs, I think the art of DJing is changing a lot, and some of the fundamentals of how to be a great DJ could be lost unless people actually share a little bit more about how to play in different places and different experiences. I feel as a DJ, if any DJs are watching this, you should get as much experience as you can playing in different settings. Like local venues and smaller venues are very important because they can give birth to big stars. Like I mentioned, one of the people who I listened to a lot growing up was Chemical Brothers. They started in a small pub called The Sun and 13 Cantons in London, a tiny place, and then they ended up playing Glastonbury and massive stages just by developing their sound in a small space. And I think somewhere like Dubai needs small spaces that promote different styles of music so people can hear it, and you never know what the next sound is going to be. If everyone is playing the music they think they're supposed to play, then nothing is going to develop because you're never going to get new sounds.
So about our culture, Dubai culture, DJing culture, what do you think about this rule, permits to DJ? Is it a good for culture or is not very good for culture? I understand that, for example, only one DJ can play in a very new club.
Yeah.
Because it's about business political. Of course, they can spend money, but if they, for example, if they can, if they haven't these permits, they can invite 4 DJs, 6, 7.
Yeah, I mean with us, like I did a lot of the heavy lifting as a DJ because the permit issue meant that for a small business, which is just me and my business partner, we're not a big group, we don't have huge money behind us, so I think being conservative with the permits is better for the business side of it. But a lot of places in Dubai are run by big corporations, and you're talking all groups that have 3, 4 different restaurants or places, so they can definitely afford to invest in the permits. A lot of places, it's not because they don't, it's not because they can't afford it. It's because they don't see the value of doing it. But I think having multiple DJs in a venue is a good thing. But I also have an opinion that there are a lot of events I've seen where in one night there will be like 5 DJs, and for me that's too much. Like the lineups is like if everyone's just playing 30 minutes or 1 hour, you can't really build anything, and maybe they all have a different style. So I'm still a believer that you need longer sets for someone to build a mood in the room and to create an atmosphere that people can engage with. Do I want to remove permits? Yes, I want to remove permits. That's what I'm trying to say. I don't want any permits in the city to DJ.
Maybe 5 places you like where a DJ play in Dubai, in your opinion?
Like other venues?
Your colleagues?
Yeah, like we're friends with most of the bars and spaces in the city. Like I would say, I think Soul Kitchen is interesting because it's also DJ owned. Like the owners are also DJs. So we have that in common, and they've been here a lot. We've been there. We have a good relationship with them. I think that's cool. I think, for me, personally, I think the best spaces are still small spaces that people don't expect a party to happen, where promoters come in and do something. So, I would say we need more promoters. Venue owners, like still most venues are run by groups, or the owners are not musicians themselves. So that changes they're just doing what they think is trendy, what they think is like cool for them, and they're leveraging sometimes the community. They use the community to make themselves cool instead of them actually doing things by themselves.
Remember your lovely party here in Electric Pawn Shop, your best favorite party. Maybe not when you play, maybe another DJ plays.
Yeah. I would never I'm not an ego DJ. I would never say the one where I played was the best. I'm not that guy.
You just stay near with
cocktail. Like I think I get the most satisfaction when, of course, I love it when I rock a party myself, but just standing by and watching a DJ express themselves and hearing sometimes new songs that I don't know, and then seeing the crowd loving it, that's very satisfying because I know that I've created the space for that to happen. That's really satisfying. So I think some of the best events we've had here would be like having a legend like Danny Krivit, like I mentioned, who his club history goes back to like 70s New York club culture, where he used to play in Studio 54, Paradise Garage, you know, and then he's here in the space, like showing all these decades of knowledge on the equipment. I also like a good friend of mine, Sean Lala, who unfortunately passed away recently. He played here he was called Elsewhere Sonido as a DJ, and he just came with 7 inches 7-inch records, vinyl records, 45s, that you will never see again in your life. They're like so rare and obscure, and yet he's playing music no one's ever heard before, but the dance floor is full. Everybody had a great time, and I will always remember him that way. For, you know, I have a video, by the end of the night there's a pile like this just by the floor. He's treating the records like shit, you know, he's just throwing the records on the floor and just playing the next one, and destroyed the party, like rocked it. Yeah, so he was a great guy, man. Rest in peace.
Why you choose playing as with the time codes and Serato? Yeah. Why, for example, not USBs?
Yeah, honestly, I'm not elitist about DJ culture. I used to have a DJ school, so for me, any equipment you have are just tools. The most important really is the quality of even the file that you use. So if you use digital or you use vinyl, you know, you can use vinyl, and vinyl's cool. I still collect records, but you know, if you use a high quality lossless digital file, there's no difference in sound quality. I prefer using turntables just because that's how I learned how to DJ. That's what I grew up with, and I'm not a small guy. I'm a bigger guy, so I like having a bigger platter to play with. But I use CDJs obviously, and whenever you play in other clubs or festivals, CDJs are standard, they're industry standard. Controllers are cool, but often the sound quality is not as great on the chips inside. So I think sound quality and the music are the most important. The DJ skills and what equipment you're using comes later.
Do you drink alcohol when you're playing?
I try not to, actually. I do drink, but I never like connect those two things. For me, I play a better set when I'm sober.
Okay, I got
it. But you know, there are times in my DJ career where, you know, you use things, alcohol or other things, to get loose, and sometimes that can have interesting results, but it's not predictable. So for me, it's better. I treat it professionally, where I don't drink and I just do the best set, because it's all mental. If you're not mentally able to switch on your creativity when you're sober, then being drunk is not necessarily going to help you. It's going to make you slower.
Of course. How you searching music? Do you use maybe SoulSeek, or you buy music?
I definitely buy music. I find it very important to support artists. I use Bandcamp a lot. I search a lot of my favorite record stores. I have a list of private dealers. So for specific, usually it's older records that are very hard to find. I use dealers to find those records. Sometimes I trade. Like I mentioned, the guy with all the 7 inches, he traded, so I would trade records, because I have a lot of rare records that he doesn't. He has records I don't have, and you find a good trade and you figure things out that way. That's a very old school way of doing it. But yeah, I buy off of Bandcamp digitally, Beatport. Like I get sent a lot of promos still from different labels, and specific labels I'll follow and get their music. Find edits. SoundCloud sometimes has good edits still.
I have a question, how you understand what people need, because I was here on Green Tonic, I think, and you played before DJ from Europe. Nice DJ. And your mix is very interesting. First of all, you play like disco house, then deep house, then you go to funky, disco R&B, rap. Then you play Arabic music. And how you understand what people need.
So as an example, that was like a warm-up set. So we had a famous, not so famous, but upcoming and very interesting European DJ called Her Crank, and his style is very much like influenced by 90s rave electronica. So I knew that whatever I have to do before him, I have to reach this level of this 90s rave electronica. So going from zero, when people are just walking in, I'm not going to start hitting them hard with some house right away. So I started with some like actually sped up, but some like hip hop, funk type stuff, and then built into disco and some Brazilian sounds, and then gradually made my way into, I would say, classic piano driven house music, because his music is mostly like 90s rave pianos, until reaching a level where I can play a classic like Crystal Waters' Gypsy Woman, like, but in my own way, and then a different remix edit of that, because that leads perfectly into what he's gonna put in, and then the crowd is ready, they just heard a classic, they're ready to go, and then he can come on and destroy the set.
It's an important thing to you when you play before European artists or not European artists to check his music and understand what he will be play, and after it you prepare your set.
Yeah,
it's important to you.
I think so, because you know, I have, like, when you DJ a long time, I have my own style, and even the style that I mix and how I thread things through, and I have a lot of music that are my favorite styles of music, favorite songs even in different genres, and how I mix them is uniquely my way of mixing them. So it's important for me to see exactly what they're going to play, the headliner. There are certain rules that everybody should follow. Never play any songs by the headliner. A lot of DJs still make that mistake.
Crazy.
Never play any songs by the headliner, and then play your style, your way, but lead into so that it would be musically natural for them to come on. I think if you're just doing something, you can do something totally different, but before they come on, leave it so that they can hit their style. It's my opinion. There are different ways to do it. You could do entirely your own style, stop, and then they come in with theirs. But if the tempos are not matched, it can be a little bit weird for the people on the dance floor. Disconnected. For me, it should be one big DJ set.
yeah. How you define your promo groups who make parties here? Like, I know that so much promo groups choose your place to make parties. Maybe you understand maybe similar things between them.
Yeah.
What is it?
Yeah, I think because I used to be a promoter, so I used to do all the promo for my own events. I understand how promoters work and what they need. So now as a venue owner, we try and make it easy for them with the arrangement so that they will always win. You know, it's like a lot of venues, they try and do the best deal where sometimes the promoter's going to lose badly because maybe the venue knows something the promoter doesn't know, and they give them a deal that is going to benefit the venue but not benefit the promoter. For me, if it doesn't work for both people, you're just burning relationships. So having a good relationship is from both sides. So if a promoter is not professional, probably I won't work with them again, right? If the venue cheats them on the money, then it's bad for the promoter. They're going to have a bad opinion. So it's really about having an ecosystem where the venue owner and the promoter treat each other with respect and professional standards are met. Like a lot of the promoters that I've worked with here are very professional. We work with Retrip, they're a very professional promo group. I think partly because the guys who run it are also into video making, so the quality of the content is very high, and that helps promote the events, etc. I think it's not easy being a promoter, but there's a huge opportunity in Dubai now to be a promoter, because a lot of the promoters that used to be here disappeared with COVID. And it happened in a lot of cities. I was checking with my friends in London, in other places around the world. A lot of promoters died out in COVID. And so there's space for a new generation of promoters using new technology, new tools, new ways of reaching people, new channels, you know, like Telegram is here now. There's a lot of different ways to reach people.
So I have several simple, very quickly questions. What's your favorite alcohol drink?
So, like when Before I opened the bar, I used to drink dark rum a lot. Dark rum was my favorite, and but now that I opened the bar, and before opening the bar, I had to learn a huge amount about different types of spirits. So I personally love a drink here that we have called the Ipo Express, which is our twist on an espresso martini. So you were talking about, do you need to drink before you play? Sometimes, you know, if I've had a hard week, and I know, you know, because I was playing a lot of 7-hour sets before. So if I know I have to play a 7-hour set, I can take an Ipo Express, which has a good injection of nightjar coffee. We use nightjar coffee in it. So I get my caffeine kick, and I'm ready to go for my 7-hour set.
My lovely rum is called Contrabando. Maybe you know this rum?
Yeah. When I went on tour and DJed in New Zealand, I went to a bar called Racket. And they had floor to ceiling, every rum you can imagine. And they had a rum with gunpowder, like real gunpowder. So you can taste the spice of the gunpowder in it. So you feel like a pirate.
Amazing. So what's your favorite dish?
Favorite dish? Here, we've just launched Ramyao Ramen. So I'm a ramen guy. And myself and Lynn have tried all of the ramen in the city. So, you know, like when you have a high level of ramen, you would never say your ramen is the best ramen. But for my taste and for our taste, I think Ramyao Ramen is like amazing, because we have like a cloudy one with duck, and it has a foam. A lot of places don't get the foam that you get in some Japanese restaurants. So we have this foamy, cloudy duck ramen. It's the best.
Very difficult question. What's your lovely album?
My favorite album? Wow, man. I think an important record for me is actually a 7-inch, and it's Fadol Sidredad. So it was this Moroccan singer who was determined to be like James Brown, and he released this single, and it's like an Arabic version of Papa's Got a Brand New Bag. And at the time when I got it, not many people had it, and that started my friendship with Yanis Sturz, who's Habibi Funk. So he messaged me because I was the first person in the world to upload it on YouTube. And this is after I kept it as a secret weapon for 2-3 years, and then I uploaded it, and then he reached out and was like, where did you get it, blah, 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 blah. And that's how our relationship started, and that's why Habibi Funk plays a lot here. And we both have a love of obscure, like Arabic funk and things like that. So
another difficult question, your lovely DJ.
Oh man, that's hard, because, you know, like I said, there are so many DJs across different styles. You know, they're a friend. Yeah, for today. You know, I have to say, because, you know, he's recovering from a serious health incident now. But one of my all-time favorite DJs, and he's one of my closest friends, is DJ Shortcut from the Beat Junkies. So he's a turntablist, but what's interesting about him is he has an extremely deep knowledge of every genre of music you can imagine, and he's even won like massive competitions, even with like his reggae and dancehall selections. So he's a person I know, if I put him in front of any crowd, he'll destroy the crowd, no matter where he is, anywhere in the world. So, and he's not as famous as a lot of DJs that we could name, but he never fails.
What's your lovely country?
The more you stay in one place, you also see the frustrations of the place. And so, like, other countries look more attractive, but every country has problems, right? So I'm biased, man. I still love Spain very much, because every area of Spain is different. And when you go to the south, you still feel the Arab influence, and the food is obviously the food I grew up with. But I love Catalonia as well, which has a different culture, and Barcelona is like my hometown now. And then if you go to the Basque country, it's a different place altogether. You go to Madrid, it feels different. So I think it has so much variety that it's a biased choice, I have to say it.
What's your hobbies? Do you have some hobbies?
Yeah, man. So I'm like, for me, I honestly believe being a DJ and being a musician, being an artist, is you express your creativity in different ways. So like I collect all kinds of visual art as well as like music. So I collect records, and the interesting thing about collecting vinyl is obviously the artwork on the vinyl. And then I collect movies. I collect like obscure, weird, abstract films that no one's ever heard of, just because it has some visually interesting thing. I collect video games from the 90s, like all kinds of super rare, retro, sometimes 16-bit, because sometimes they have a crazy soundtrack that you can sample, or like some weird visual. So I love video games, movies. I train martial arts. I've always been into martial arts, Jeet Kune Do and Kali, which is so Filipino martial arts. And other than that, I've cut some of my hobbies down because I'm so busy with work. But mostly, yeah.
Your lovely movie director.
Just because I was watching him recently, I have to say Martin Scorsese. Just because he, you know, every movie that he's made, I've watched quite a few times. He's got maybe a couple that I'm not as a fan of, but I love his early films and the rawness and the style of direction. You know, movies like Mean Streets are good, and obviously Taxi Driver is a famous classic. Yeah.
Last question: if tomorrow will be your last day on this planet, how will you spend it?
I think I will eat the best food I can, listen to music, maybe make a mix that nobody's going to hear, right? I'll make a mix that no one's going to hear, but it's for me. Yeah. And call as many of my friends and family and people as possible, and tell them I love them.
Amazing. Thank you, Lobito, so much. Good luck to your place,
yeah,
to your life, and
thank you, brother. Likewise.